We'll spend a minute in silence to invoke the presence of the Supreme Being. So, welcome all of you to the Values for Life series special episode, second anniversary today. I must say, time really flies fast. We began our journey way back October 2020, and it was the World Values Day we started with. As all of you may be knowing, that the World Values Day is celebrated in the third week of October. And there we are in the third week again. We've finished our journey 2 years, and I'll just stop sharing the screen. So, welcome all of you to this beautiful anniversary and the birthday, I must say. What we normally do in our series here is, I must say, a four-corner approach or a four-pronged approach, whereby we have a senior who speaks on the particular value. The next weekend, we sit with the participants and do a few exercises, experiential exercises in the form of a workshop. And again, have another Raj Yogi guiding us on that. And third is the entire 2 weeks, we churn on what we call Murlis, the spiritual versions of the incorporeal divine here. On that particular value for the 2 weeks, that's what we do, the third thing. And the fourth thing, by the end of the month, we try to complete all that with a silence retreat. We sit in silence for around 2 hours and inculcate whatever we have learned in the past 2 to 3 weeks, so that value fully seeps inside. So it gives me immense pleasure. And first of all, I must say a big thanks to Brother Eric, because it's late in night for him, but he was still very motivated and inspired as always to do the conversation with us. So thank you, Brother Eric. And I would also like to welcome Asha Didi and Brother Charlie, who have joined, who have taken out their valuable time for us. So Asha Didi gives us the hope that indeed all of us have scope to dissect our inner core with the help of a spiritual microscope. Whereas Brother Charlie, with his very happy nature and gentle humility, teaches us how to incorporate spirituality in action. And finally, Brother Eric, with his jovial and humorous nature, teaches us how to have spiritual vigor and be a brother figure to everyone around. So let me just take a few more minutes, and I have prepared a very special poem on this day. So hope you'll enjoy it. So today, on this auspicious celebration of World Values Day, let's do the most of it as the sun shines, and let's make the hay. Leading a life on values has now become my natural way. As I meet other people on and off, that's what they have to say. How's that so very peaceful always you are able to stay? And I reply to them that now in life it's with values I always play. My life is an open book of virtues always on the display. I can mold myself like making an earthen pot from clay. Meditation is the key to connect with the Supreme rather than pray. It has changed my perspective in life, and now I remain very happy and gay. So, with this, what we would do now, a special, I must say, a gift for all of you. We will be playing a small video which will capture all the moments, the live moments of the 24 episodes of the last year which we have done. So, I would request Brother Nikhil to please play the video.
As you begin your spiritual journey, the surrender begins with understanding gradually. So internally, when I decided this is what I have to do, that's where really surrender began. But in Hindi, it's called samarpan. And samarpan is like offering, right? So in English, we say I surrender, but actually, I am offering whatever I have.
That reality, Satyata, is the crown quality of royalty.
This value of generosity includes within it the ability to accommodate. Means the person who has a big heart puts the self at the back, but the bigger task, he sees the whole, he puts that bigger task in front.
Mercy actually means to be able to help another one to the extent that they themselves are able to become self-sufficient, self-reliant, rather than dependent on me.
I need to have so much strength that I'm able to give that vibration of peace, happiness, love, cheerfulness, etc. to others.
Have I become also mirror? Whosoever comes in front of me, I can give them joy, happiness, saying, you are good.
And so we find simplicity is to be able to enjoy being with each other, whether it's a family at home, whether it's a family at work, or whether it's the world as a family. And then it makes things so simple.
If I serve others without any concern for the self, then there is a sense of protection.
And that's what we talk about, opening the third eye, to really be able to see what can't be seen with the physical eyes.
A person who has this quality of confidence has it because they trust their judgment.
Positivity is the power which creates confidence in the self, brings courage to face the problem.
Faith in the intellect brings victory, and doubt in the intellect brings defeat.
But where does compassion begin? We all know it begins with having compassion for me. I would say self-compassion is one of the most important things in life.
Fill yourself within that now in your life. You are not alone. You are companion of ocean of peace.
So, perseverance is just not one day's decision. It has to be a continuous effort, and I would say daily we need to remind ourselves.
Look before you leap, think before you speak. So, a far-sighted individual only can be foresighted.
So thank you so much. It was a nice memory downline where I was able to recollect all of you sharing all your wisdom with us. Immensely thankful to all of you. And with this, I would now pass it on to Brother Eric. So the stage is all yours, Brother Eric. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Loving greetings to each and everyone. And yes, it is a beautiful moment of the year to celebrate because it's the festival of Diwali. So this is a perfect night for me to bring candles. Some for you, it's the day. And so very happy to be with you all today. I know some are very regular to the Values for Life series. Others may be joining. Some will be watching us on YouTube, maybe in 10 years or 100 years from now, never know. So greetings on your time, whenever or whichever planet you're on. Maybe sometime they will be watching when they are taking a trip in Mars, maybe, right? So let's greet time and space in such a way that we fill it with light. And so I'd like to invite our two very special guests today. We have our dear Didi Asha from India and our dear brother Charlie in Australia. I'm Brother Eric, by the way, in Montreal, so somewhere in between. So Asha Didi, very, very welcome. For you, I choose a beautiful rose in full zoom, or full bloom, I should say, but it's in full zoom. So welcome, welcome, swagatam, swagatam. Zoom is nice place to meet. And so Charlie Bhai, I know you like colors and variety of gardens. So for Brother Charlie, may all these colorful flowers reach your heart and give you beautiful feelings of love from your Canadian and international family. So swagatam, swagatam, welcome to both of you. And before we allow you to speak, because you told me I'm controlling now the series. So before we allow you to speak, we have a special moment because there's no celebration without really having a cake with candles, isn't it? Now, Zoom is a miracle. We can do everything in Zoom. So believe me or not, we're going to be cutting a cake in Zoom together. So let's see how this cake is going to materialize in such a way that you're going to see the cake. And it's to celebrate 2 years really of sharing incredible amount of wealth in terms of knowledge, wisdom. And we say that, you know, there's no better nourishment than happiness. But cake is also good to enjoy. So here is our 2nd anniversary cake with the magic angel behind that is going to express the power of your mind. So Charlie is lighting a candle right now through his mind. You can see it. And Didi Asha is lighting a candle through her mind. Isn't that incredible? That's the power of Zoom. So congratulations. This is 2 years. And now, with the power of your mind, Asha Didi and Brother Charlie, you have to blow the candles. So on my count, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you didn't think deep enough. Okay, think again. All right. The angel cut the thought. So it looks a beautiful chocolate, strawberries, beautiful cake. So this is to honor the efforts that, you know, a wonderful team has done for 2 years, translators, recorders of translation, guest speakers, all those who have been orchestrating this in the back, those who created the thought, even at the beginning, that this will be, you know, every month, not just a lecture, like Manoj mentioned. It's not just a lecture, but the lecture is the start. And then during the whole month, some are really making the effort to incorporate the value, practice the value, be in silence. So we have our Sister Claudia and, of course, our dear Dr. Ashok Mehta. We have been both the living candles of the programs for a long time. So greetings, welcome, and congratulations to both of you as well for being the inspiration and being the support of this program for so long. You want to say a short little hello, Dr. Ashok Mehta and Claudia?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Charlie Bhai, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Asha Didi, lovely to see you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Ashok, bye Claudia.
Eric, Om Shanti.
Hello, Om Shanti. It's a beautiful, the Zoom Dham, the place where we can meet in such an easy way. They say sometimes God has come when you were just sitting comfortably in your living room. And so now we can say God has come when you're comfortably sitting in your living Zoom. And the present, the divine is present. So congratulations to both of you. And then we'll hear from you at the end as well after the program, right? Dr. Ashok Mehta and Claudia?
Yes. Brother Eric Pai, I want to say how beautiful this program has been going on for the last 2 years. And I think all the senior brothers and sisters and all those who are participating are contributing tremendously. And when you look at the panorama of last 2 years, as we saw a little glimpse of it, I think it's a great effort and it's a great movement, as a matter of fact. I think this can be multiplied for other things as well. So congratulations to Manoj Bhai, congratulations to Anuben, and to Eric Bhai and sister. Thank you very much.
Manoj Bhai too.
Yeah,
Thank you
we
very
need to put Manoj Bhai in the picture here. And also Anu.
As a matter of fact, I am sitting just now in the Gamdevi Center. I had come for a Moodli and I had a meeting and it was just clashing with this. So I said, now I'm going to take off for a little while, be with our group and then come back at 10:30 with you. So thank you very much for this fantastic Zoom efforts. We are zooming across the world. Thank you.
Claudia Ben, you want to say a word?
Yeah, it has been a quite nice journey. It's so nice to see all these seniors talking to us and giving us different perspective of different values. And then we can see where we need to improve and what values did we have already in ourselves. So it's a kind of a journey, and it's becoming so easy for us now to have all those together. And to be, it's like a real, like they show the boat just going across the river, the ocean. So there is an ocean of values in our life. So I'm very thank you to all Asha Didi, Charlie Bai, to Eric Bai, who has been, all of you who has been with us together and trust us, because it's a trust to us also. When we invite you, say Haji. So thank you for being with us on this boat.
You see, we can have beautiful flowers in their living form here, but this is on the screen, to me, even a more beautiful bouquet. And Ben, you want to say one word or so for a living flower who can speak?
Very, very thankful for this whole opportunity and wonderful journey. And of course, this moment is very, very precious. That's all I would say. And I think thanks to Charlie Bhai, Asha Didi ji, Dr. Mehta, Sister Claudia, Brother Manoj, such a wonderful journey. And very, very special thanks to Eric Bhai ji for being with us at this moment, no matter what is the time. So we have conquered time today. That's what I feel. Very happy to be.
Happy to be here. Manoj, one word of wisdom or so. You're part of the bouquet now, so you're a living flower speaking as well.
I must say immense gratitude. I can't thank enough all our seniors. I never envisioned this to happen, but it's all Baba's magic. Thanks, all of you.
All right. Well, thank you all. And now we're going to move into a little, actually, a good chit chat with Brother Charlie and our dear Asha Didi ji. And so we'll be meeting you again, Anuben, Manoj Bhai, Claudia, and Dr. Ashok Mehta also after the conversation. And, you know, this program has been highlighting many, many virtues and qualities. And both of you, Charlie and Asha Didi, were part of it a few times. And we think about those virtues and this 2 years of effort. So before we go into some kind of discussion of virtues, I was wondering if you would like to share maybe a blessing, a thought for the third year. And I know all those who have been working very, very hard, to make this program. When we told them, well, maybe after 2 years, it's good. It's no, we continue. So there's deep enthusiasm to continue another year. So what's your vision? What this program can achieve even better, and where this program can move, and which direction, so that there can be even improvement, continuation, and meaningful sharing with the whole world. This is not just for members of the BKs, but we know there are many new, friends who are joining every time. Asha Didi, you want to share maybe a vision for year number 3?
Yes, while listening to what has gone in the past 2 years, beautiful remarks about the values coming from seniors, a thought arose, how nice it would be. Value and virtue is something we need to imbibe. But as Baba said today in the Murli, it should become our nature, sanskar, become our personality trait. It is not that I have to think about a virtue and implement it, make use of it. No. But it should be so well integrated in my life so that whenever I act, whenever I speak, whenever I think, it has the essence and the fragrance of all those virtues. It is one thing to give attention to one quality and try to master it. But many times I have been saying, when people say, what is the effort that we have to make? I always say, a person who wishes to make efforts does not ask what effort he has to make. They would naturally do it. So these virtues and values, how they become our natural trait, because they all come from our core values of basic core values: wisdom, peace, love, etc. Now, it is one thing to talk about it. It is one thing to discuss, one thing to question, but it is something that it should be a part of us. So this year, if we can design such a program where we are able to make it a part of ourselves, then I think it will be more meaningful, because now we are nearing our new age or new golden era. Satyugi sanskars should emerge now. And all these virtues, they cater to it. So I was just, while sitting here, this thought came that how nice it would be, we have all these virtues in a natural way. They become a part of our life. Not that now I have to do this and this virtue. No. It should be integrated into my personality. Personality should become such. This is what I think.
I think you catched a very nice thought. It was passing by you. It's good you catched it. It was a very good thought. Very interesting, and I think very relevant, to our reflection. What do you think, Brother Charlie? And
So thank you so much, Eric. Lovely to be with you, and lovely to be with you too, Asha Didi. And I would just like to add my appreciation to the wonderful values team, Manoj Pai and Claudia Ben and Anu, Sister Anu and Dr. Ashok Mehta, everyone. It's quite an amazing effort to do this constantly, as you have done. It was interesting for me to listen to Ashadidi because I think this morning's teachings at all the BK centers, it touched me profoundly because it really said the seeds of all these values and virtues are, in a sense, wisdom, knowledge, and my connection with the divine. And it's almost like a natural flow on when I realize who I am and I have a genuine, loving connection with the divine. It's like the roots that grow the flower vase of all the qualities, the bouquet of flowers. And what I was thinking, because what Ashadidi was saying, well, we all know you, there's so many books out there with all the theory about values and virtues. There's so much discussion about the theory. But what we're trying to do here is live them in our lives in a daily practice. And Eric and Manoj, I was wondering whether to continue the series with maybe a discussion between two people about their practice. So we might say to two people, can you really sort of for a week or two really focus on humility? And then we'll have an interview or discussion of what you learned about humility at that time, where it works, how it influences you, where perhaps you could learn more. And so we're really sort of trying to take the theory into the practical, because I think that's what this morning's session was really saying, that when there's the depth of understanding and the connection with God, we have the power to really apply knowledge, which becomes values. When knowledge is lived, it becomes values and virtues, and that's really the beauty of life. So, yeah, I was wondering whether there's a real living sharing of people who are trying to practice a value, what we're learning in a practical way.
Yes, very good idea. I think we're actually breaking the ground for the brainstorm of the making of the third year. So it's a gift from both of you. Yeah. And you already did the homework of the team, so they now just have to apply it. And so here is the plan for the next year. So thank you both. It's lovely. Actually, it's really, fits in the timing is interesting. We're about to celebrate, or we're already celebrating Diwali, which is in itself a powerful image, a powerful symbol of those living values in a way. Like in the dark, what you want to do is to lit a candle, so you bring light to the world. So we are already in that mode for the second anniversary. And also the class that you are both referring to, the class that all the centers have been studying, I'll be doing it in a few hours in Montreal, is exactly about this issue of where the natural state of being virtuous come from. So I'm going to propose to both of you that the next 40 minutes, we go on the journey of a yogi. And what I liked in the class also that we're referring about is that if you practice and you are the embodiment of virtues, you're basically a natural yogi. And I'm fascinated with this identity of being a yogi and having a natural yogi life. So I'm wondering if we can both, if you can both take us into the connection first between those virtues and knowledge, because we're told in the class that if there's deep understanding, there will naturally be an enlightened stage, and that will naturally take us into a connection with the divine, and values will be natural. So I'm thinking of my life and I'm thinking, well, when I'm not really in a higher state of a virtue, if I go back, what's wrong with my understanding? And I would presume I'm a very wise and, clever person. But yet, if I'm losing patience, for a small little thing, how come? Am I missing something? So, Ashadidi, maybe we can start with you by telling us, how do you make that link between understanding, wisdom, yoga, and values, or natural inculcation, we would say?
Baba has clearly said today in the Murli that it is one thing to have knowledge, and it is another thing to be an embodiment of that knowledge. For instance, Baba said, you are a soul. Everyone knows that I am a soul. But what is the soul? Is it simply just a point of light, mind, and these values? Sometimes I ask the class, I'm a soul, fine. But how do you experience it? How do you feel that you are a soul? It is not merely through physical activity, but do you feel that you are the master of this body? When Baba says you are a soul, master of the body, do I feel that I am the master of the body? Are my senses listening to me? My thoughts, my speech, my actions, are they listening to me? Baba says you are a peaceful soul. I understand I am a peaceful soul. I am not an angry kind of a person. But anger invades us, or impatience invades us. I recall my own journey. I used to be a very impatient kind of a person. If a person was not doing accurately something, not listening, or speaking lies, doing something or the other topsy-turvy, I was not the person to tolerate. I used to sometimes raise my voice, but inside I knew it is not right. It is not spiritual. So, mind says, you must not, you should not do it. But then, how do we overcome? Knowledge is there. With the power of meditation, yoga, how Baba tolerates us so much, how God gives us so many opportunities, so many chances. He ignores, he forgives. Can't I do this? This wisdom prevails when we are in yoga with Baba. And that special link that we have with Baba, loveful, is my father. He's my guide. I can open my heart to him. And when I receive such inspiration, no, you are not this. You are not this. So I started working on it. If someone did something wrong, I used to plan, I will say this, 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 this. But then, when the person was coming to my office, somehow Baba used to help, or I would say that wisdom would prevail. No, same thing can be said in a loveful manner. Same thing can be said softly and sweetly. And I found it works. It works better than the other way. So one has to, it is a learning process, I would say. It is learning as well as, you're sometimes trial and error. Sometimes you fail, and then you repent that why did I do this? Realization also makes a person to transform and imbibe the value, the virtue that one wishes to. If there is no realization, there cannot be that transformation. So this is one thing. Similarly, we can apply for other things also. But this thing specially demanded attention from me. And handling different kinds of people with different backgrounds was not that easy, but learning was there. And I would like to quote Dadi Prakashmani. Towards the last stages of her life, I used to sit with her and talk to her, ask her several questions. Once I asked her, Dadi, in administration, it is the balance of love and law that works? Dadi said no. I knew Dadi was very lawful. I had seen her very lawful and very loveful also. But Dadiji said no, only love. It did not register into my mind, frankly speaking. It did not register. I said, Dadi, people will take advantage of me if I am only loveful. She still said, no, only love. I did not realize the depth of spirituality that was hidden behind. Later, through experience, I learned that it is only love. Only love. Baba is not called the ocean of discipline, ocean of law. Baba is the ocean of love. So this is how when you talk and keep Baba in your mind and you are connected with him and the knowledge that he gives us, to keep all these things in mind and have honest heart to learn, then things become easy to imbibe.
Well, thanks for even just invoking Dadi Prakashmani in the conversation, and the love already blooms. You know, it touches our heart, and yes, it's very practical. Thank you, Shadidi. I can't imagine you impatient, but I guess it must have happened a long time ago. But we cannot imagine you now like that at all. But people always thank us when we share our journey because they feel, oh, at last, I'm not the only one, someone else also. So thank you for sharing. And it's true, you know, to make it practical. I'm sure, Charlie, you must connect also with memories of how we started on the journey to become a yogi. And we all like this notion to become peaceful, perfect yogi, all the values. So how did you react this morning when you read the class about knowledge is really the foundation, and that knowledge can become the connection to the divine and then the means to implement the virtues? How did you process that in your intellect?
Well, thanks, Eric. And I really loved what Ashadidi was saying, because I even remember once Daddy Janki saying, the ultimate result of all knowledge is to be completely loving. And that touched me incredibly deeply because, you know, when you absorb truth into your being, does it make you a great intellectual who gives great lectures? I don't think so. It's when you become the embodiment of a love and a humility, that's which really inspires and transforms people. And I remember actually when you were asking, Eric, I was at the World Parliament of Religions once and a rabbi was there. And he said there's three things in life. There's information, knowledge, and wisdom. And as he said, you can Google and you get any information, billions of results. Knowledge is, in this context, is like the theory, all the beliefs, the ideas, and there's so many academics all around the world doing amazing work on that. But wisdom is applied knowledge. It's when truth is absorbed into the being, and it comes through my face, through my drishti, my eyes, through my words, through my face. It's like, my being. That's when it really is powerful. And I've often thought about this journey personally, because when we go to university or learn, we learn so much information. Today we know so much about so many things. But what is spiritual learning? What's spiritual education? It's like taking one idea and unpacking it, going deeper and deeper. And the more you go into like the truth of who I am as a soul, as you unpack it, it becomes an absolute state of peace and stillness and silence. And I really love that. And as Ashdili was saying, when I remember once a group of us were meeting Baba, and Baba said, you know the knowledge, you believe the knowledge, you teach the knowledge, but you don't experience the knowledge. That also had a huge impact on my journey, that actually we believe knowledge is the end point. Once I know something, that's it. Actually, that's the first step of thousands of steps of unpacking a truth about the self, or a truth about God. And the end point, I feel, when you unpack the truth about God, when you unpack it from a theory into an experience, you do experience a total state of love and being loving. And it's always been a big quest for me to try to transform what I know into what I experience. And sometimes I have the thought, the first step is to know, the second step is to believe. The next 998 steps are educating myself how to taste. So I can know a virtue. I know it's good, but how long does it take to sort of work? And a quality for me, which has always been important, is respect. I sort of measure a lot of my spirituality about my ability to value others, because to me, that is one of the most crucial things to a quality life. And if I observe myself not really fully respecting someone internally, it really, it goes very deep. And it's like I have to learn more. I have to understand more, because to me, it's so essential at this time to have good wishes for everyone, no matter how different they are. And even this morning's session was, we are all different. Our capacity is different. And to be able to respect the one who has full capacity is easy, but perhaps to respect the one whose capacity is less, that's more challenging in a sense. But to me, I feel I'm spiritual when I can maintain the dignity of everyone around me. It's a really important feeling to me that I'm practicing my spirituality when I can hold the value of others in my vision. And actually, when Ashdili was mentioning about Daddy Prakashmani, I used to feel she was the head of this organization. I felt she held it in her attitude, her respectful attitude. And because she gave that value to everyone, she brought everyone together. It's almost like she held the whole organization in the power of her benevolent, respectful, loving attitude. To me, that's really what leadership is really about.
And I know, Ashadidi, you met, of course, Daddy Prakash many times, more than us who were coming from the other side of the world, but you were next door. You've been witnessing not just her, but many other daddies, and you yourself, have gone through a journey. And maybe, you were a little bit impatient sometimes. Maybe you had a few more little things to adjust. But, you were talking earlier about the next step of this program to make the values even more natural and how to really become it fully. And I think for me, one of the key words in our journey is a constancy, because I think many of us have experienced very high, you're in Madhuban, you're in front of Baba, you're with the seniors, you think that's it. You've reached the Lakshmi Narayan stage and you're almost perfect. And then when you go down the mountain, it seems you go down many more things than the mountain. And you reach a stage, and then 3 weeks later, you wonder, what happened? How could I have been so high? And suddenly we're back to work, or in some situations where we can feel the values, the virtues, they're not so strong anymore. And then it's go back, and so from Raja Yoga, we go to Raja Yo-Yo, and then we do a little bit of Raja Yo-Yo. So what will be your experience, Shadidi, and how you feel we can move away from that inconstancy, I would say, or irregularities, to become really the constant yogis? I look at you and you look like very, very stable. So I think you're and I know we're seeing you in the retreat center. It's always a pleasure. And I think now nothing can shake you anymore, right? I don't know. But it feels like, how do we reach that state of being constant yogis so we don't lose it anywhere?
Thank you for your compliment. Actually, it is a constant attention, Eric Bhai. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday or day before, Baba was talking how children come when they sit in front of me, they are very happy, feel very elated, elevated. But when they go and just have a cup of tea, their intoxication comes down. Exactly when our Charlie Bhai was speaking, I was also thinking about the same thing. More important is how to sustain these values, sustainability. This is what you said, constancy, sustainability. And I think we need to keep attention on the self. If the attention is there, we don't let ourselves lose. That whatever comes, however comes, we take it in that stride. No. But if attention is there, and I make little agenda that this is what I have learned from Madhuban, this is what I have learned from Baba's Murli, this is what I have learned from this special event, I have to sustain it. I have to sustain it. I have to I will not give it up. So if there is strong willingness, it is one thing to be elated. It is one thing to be happy. It is one thing to feel that I am this. But then that will, which is there, if strong willingness is there, then naturally we will keep attention. And I would say silence helps a lot. In silence, talking to the self, self-conversation, self-talk, this helps a lot. Because if someone else tells me something, due to ego, maybe I will reject it and I'll give 101 reasons that this cannot happen. You do not know what challenges I have to go through. I know them. I know my situation. We can give many reasons. But as you know, enlightenment or awakening is there when you are all alone. Alone in silence and talking to yourself. And then also, since we are really I would say, genuine people, We are genuine people. We are making genuine efforts. It is not just cosmetic kind of virtuous life that we want to lead, but we want to be really genuine people. So when there is that truthfulness, honesty towards the self, then sustainability also, constancy also occurs. And slowly, slowly it happens, I would say. Then there is one more thing. When we are living in a group, it is one thing to be alone. But another thing, when you are living in a group, there are 1,001 people watching you, looking at you. This is also a blessing, I would say. It is a blessing that keeps you in good stead. So I think these two things, they help in keeping constancy of any virtue. It is not that we always pass out. There are times when we are a failure also, but that failure gives a realization. And Eric Bhai, if we look at, sometimes I talk about this to my sisters also. If there is a medical person, doctor, if the doctor has practiced for 20 years, it's big experience. Architect, big experience. And we are spiritual people in Gyan for so many years. How we should be? So when you talk to yourself on these lines, then realization is there, and then genuineness is there to transform. Realization is there.
Thank you. I really like your very practical approach. I think you're definitely one who did the walk, and you can talk about the walk because you did it. So it's really, really, it's inspiring. And it must resonate also, Charlie, when you said earlier, that we're told sometimes that the knowledge, we understand, we believe in it, but maybe we don't experience it enough. So I relate to Ashadidi's sharing about the conversation that we have with ourselves. And sometimes I ask myself when I'm listening to myself thinking, and I ask, who is thinking now? Is it Eric? Is it just Eric talking, or is it the soul, the original soul, the one who is beyond Eric talking? And the more and more I've been experimenting, listening to the soul, the soul, but not Eric speaking, thinking, I find it fascinating what the soul really thinks. And sometimes Eric tries to say something and the soul says, Eric, you've been thinking for a long time. Just take a rest, I don't need to listen to you. Let the soul think. So what would be your journey, Charlie Bai, in terms of making knowledge a real experience and a reality also then in yoga and action, in virtues? Small question, but big.
Yeah. I think, it's always been a special quest for me to really apply the truth, really try to experience what I am learning. And in a sense, I remember once talking to one of our older brothers, Jagdish Bai, and I asked him, well, for someone like me, what's the most important thing to sustain me long term? Straight away he said new experiences. Because I think there's that sort of intellectual approach to life where you understand, and that's enough. But the education to experience, transform knowledge into experience, in a sense, that's what meditation is. It's transforming truth into a feeling inside. That's what I would say. And I sort of set myself that quest. And sometimes, for instance, on the journey to really become soul conscious, we use words like, I'm immortal, I'm eternal, I'm non-physical, incorporeal. Are they just sort of beliefs? And I have spent months in the laboratory of my mind experimenting with the concept of being incorporeal. What does it really mean? And I keep asking myself the question. I do one experiment over a long period. What does it feel like? And honestly, the more I've really tried to move from the belief into the feeling, I found that when I really taste the feeling of being a non-physical entity in this material world, it's extraordinarily, you feel uninfluenced. And you know how often I think one of our great weaknesses on the spiritual journey for me was being affected by atmospheres, people, opinions, situations. I'm much less now. But I found the more I actually tasted the feeling in the laboratory of my mind, that practice of what is the real sense to be incorporeal, I felt naturally uninfluenced. It was a natural consequence. So in a sense, when the understanding is converted into an experience of being incorporeal, it gave me an incredible strength to live in this world and not be so affected, not absorbed from it, but observe the world. And I think one of the practices I'm really experimenting a lot with now is, what does it really mean to be detached? Because I feel that's essential at this point of time. I absolutely love the learning we have around detachment, that, you know, that the more you are detached, it increases your capacity to love. So often we think, to be loving, I need to express, but actually, when you're completely uninfluenced, you can love people when they're great, they're lovely, they're good company. But when they're not so great and they're not so sweet, you can maintain a more constant attitude. And to me, the experiments I'm doing to try to translate the theory into the experience around detachment at the moment, I really feel detachment is an extraordinarily, when we understand it, but it's the most misunderstood quality, because often it comes out as aloof and disconnected and not, you know, not close and all those sorts of feelings. So I love to experiment in the laboratory of my mind to sort of unpack an idea so you convert it into a feeling or an experience. And that's, I really feel sustained when I'm sort of practicing these things.
It's fascinating because, you know, Shadidi, you started sharing with the idea that you ask sometimes people in a class, what is really being soul conscious, or what it is to be a soul? And we know that all our learning takes us always back to this first lesson. I'm looking at both of you. I know time is just flying like an angel, but I have an interesting feeling that, you know, one is in a male body, obviously. One is in a female body, obviously. One is more like Australian type. One is more Indian type. And both have been on the journey for a long time. Both are surrounded by retreat center. That's another common point between both of you. There are many retreat centers in Australia. There's a beautiful one in Delhi, where you are near Delhi. And I'm thinking, looking at both of you, you know, who would have thought 40, 50 years ago that we would define a yogi and look at this, you know, picture on the screen right now and see the spectrum of the yogi, from the Australian brother who lives with the kangaroos and the Indian sister who has the soul of India, you know, incorporated. And someone who's searching for a yogi will have many, you know, cliche images of what the yogi is. But why I'm sharing this is because for me, both of you together gives me a sense of redefining yogi beyond the cliche, beyond the kind of stereotypes. And so for the next few minutes, I'm wondering if we can try to express each one in your own ways. How do you describe today what really a yogi is? And how is a yogi seeing the self, God, the world? What's the yogi's point of view? So, and then we'll have two versions that are very interesting that people can feel. This is the whole spectrum. And yogi is, not about the image, but about the being. Don't know if my question or my idea is clear, but Ashadidi, I'm okay to mention about both of you being in those different spectrum of images. But I think it's fascinating to see this coming today. It's very nice to see both of you together. Ashadidi, so what is your inner yogi world looking like?
Let me tell you about Dadi Prakash Mani first.
Mm-hmm.
It just appeared in my mind. Once a soul came and he was sitting in front of Dadi and speaking harshly. All that he wanted to say is too much. All of us sitting there. So what is this person doing? But Dadi was so calm, unperturbed, and very silent. Her face looked as though she was in deep silence with Baba. And after some time, Dadi did not say a word. After some time, when he stopped speaking, then Dadi said, "Acha, is it over?" Is it over? Acha, okay. Now you go to Baba's room. That's all. And later on, that brother, he called up Sister Mohini, and he said to her, "Why is it Dadi did not say a word to me? She should have said at least something to me. Why did that realization was there when he sat in Baba's room? Maybe he was talking to himself, talking to Baba, got inspiration that Dadi was so calm, quiet. She should have said something at least to me." So this is a picture of a yogi. Dadi as a yogi, so stable. Let me tell you one thing. When we were small, young, Manor Dadi used to be our teacher. And she used to say yogi means the one who is not at all disturbed, whether sorrows, happiness, or love, hate, success, failure. In everything, he should be stable. Then you get it, no? Stable, not up and down. And then what kind of life it is? We used to tell her. What kind of life it is? When there is something good, we should feel happy. When there is sorrow, we should feel sorry. She said no, but it did not register. Slowly, we learned that yoga actually means balance. Yoga also means balance, which means that we maintain our equilibrium of mind and intellect. We maintain stability, neither sorry nor happy. Just that this is higher form of spirituality. Higher form of spirituality, I would say, where you are not happy when you receive something and unhappy when you don't receive something. I have gone through this. Something went wrong. And it was not exactly wrong, but I felt it was wrong. And I said to Dadi Gulzar, in the evening, I had to perform something, be the stage coordinator, something. And I said to Dadi Gulzar in the afternoon, Dadi, I'm not going to do that. You can tell someone else to do it. And Dadi Gulzar, Gyan Ganges, she did not say a word to me, but she said just this much. Is it Gyan? Is it Gyan? That when something goes good, you are fine. And when something goes wrong, then you are unhappy. Is this Gyan? She did not say more than this, but it got registered. Similarly, in Mount Abu, when the conferences were held, we used to take VIPs, ministers, etc. from Delhi. To 1 year, we could not. We just could not take anyone. I said to Brother Brij Mohan, I'm not going to Abu for the conference. I said, why? I said, because Dadi will say, what did you do the whole year? No one is going. So these kinds of lessons we receive. This is not yogi life. This is not yogi life. Yogi means stability. Yogi means totally spiritual. Yogi means the one who is always giving. Yogi means the one who is not expecting, giving, but not expecting anything in return. And yogi means the one who is in combined form with Baba, combined with Baba. Yogi is Baba and the person, soul, will not be separate. And the vision is to be like Baba. In India, we have one school of thought that says that we merge with God. Soul gets merged with God. So we understand that it is not that we merge with God, but we become so close and so similar to Him that there is no distinction between Him and the soul. So this is the target of a yogi, and this is what a yogi should be. And of course, we make efforts to achieve that. But yogi means very calm, I would say, calm and not disturbed, stable, giving, and the vibrations that will come, the vibrations that he emits or she emits will be so encompassing that everyone will feel good in the company of that yogi soul. They'll feel peaceful. They will feel powerful. They themselves will feel as though they are flying away from this mundane world to some other one. These kinds of feelings they'll be able to generate. And just by their drishti, they'll be taking us away. So this is how I feel the yogi would be.
Well, you shared it beautifully, and I think we all want to sign now the yogi school and say, I want to be that now, because we don't have much time and we want to be that image. Thank you. It's beautiful. We heard, I think, the sound of the yogi, isn't it, Charlie Bai? Was that what you had in mind when you were 12, 13 years old and say, I'll be a yogi one day?
No, it wasn't actually.
But you're becoming one.
Yeah, life's amazing, isn't it? Where you end up. I mean, yes, I was really enjoying listening to Asha Didi, and one thing I've loved about the yogi is to live in this world and not be influenced by it. In a sense, I'm more influenced by God than people, opinions, situations, everything happening around. And one of my observations recently, it's been for a few years, is I sort of see the intellect it's always traveling and connecting. And in a millisecond beyond time, the intellect can remember a scene in the past, remember a situation, remember a behavior of somebody. And my observation, in that split second, we connect and we're influenced with whatever we connect with. And then we download a vibration into me. So in a sense, the yogi realizes that wherever is the destination of my intellect, that's my stage. That's how I feel in life. And I've been amazed, how I can have the determined thought to connect with Baba. And in 3 seconds, I find I've connected somewhere else, even 1 second. You know how the intellect travels, not even to a bad destination, but really, I think when the subtle thread of the intellect is connected to Baba, I'm influenced by Baba. And it's almost like I download his virtues, his qualities into me. And the more I realize and I feel that vibration, I become more aware when the intellect connects with a human being and their behavior or what they've said or what they've done. It's a completely different, I'm influenced by that. And then I download that feeling inside me. To me, a yogi lives in this world and observes what the subtle thread of the intellect is connecting to. And that then creates my inner stage. And that's what I've been doing a lot recently, because without even being conscious, the mind subtly dwells on something. And I had a little thing for myself. If I'm not really feeling light and happy, there's only one question to ask myself. What have I been remembering? What have I plugged the subtle thread of my intellect into? Because the yogi, is always plugging in up there. And I loved once Baba was meeting Daddy Nirmala Shanta. And Baba said to her, "You're busy, aren't you?" She said, "Yes, Baba." And Baba said, "You're very busy, aren't you?" And she said, "Yes." And then Baba said something which has really influenced my life. Baba said, "Many drops make an ocean." And what Baba was meaning is, those drops of time when you can remember, they become an ocean. And I really feel to make a habit, when you meet somebody, you often, as you walk away, you analyze or reflect on what you've talked about. But if I use all those little moments to connect, to be the yogi, then really it does become an ocean. And I really feel that just to take all those little moments, and I've observed that sometimes, when I do, meet in a meeting or something, I observe that I often reflect or analyze or process. And yet all those moments, I could go to Baba, have the connection, be the yogi. And I really think we are those yogis who live in the world, have a lot of responsibility, but all those free moments to have that habit to go to Baba. And I think you really accumulate a lot of yoga power when you do that. Yeah.
Well, I think we're just really starting the conversation on being a yogi and explaining or exploring the depth of the yogi, but this is our time. I wouldn't let you go without asking you, as a yogi, in just a few seconds, what will be the gift you want to give to the world, particularly this year when we see what's happening around the world and we're celebrating Diwali. So, Charlie, as a yogi, what will be your thought and your gift to the world so that we celebrate Diwali as a yogi?
Diwali is time to celebrate, and I think the great gift at the moment, Eric, for everyone I meet is to be benevolent. Give good feelings, give elevated feelings, give love, give respect. Benevolence, it just uplifts the atmosphere.
You're the yogi of benevolence. Thank you, Charlie. Ashadidi, what will be, as a yogi, your gift in this beautiful Diwali?
Compassion, be compassionate, and then I would say forgiving also. Whatever has happened, let's forgive everyone, and be light, because forgiving makes us lighter. So, forgiving and compassion.
I hope everyone listening will take those gifts personally and bring them into their life, because when it comes from a yogi, it becomes a blessing and it becomes a reality. So to each and every one, may everyone feel that benevolence, that compassion, and feel the forgiveness to move forward. So, my dear friends, Charlie Bai, Asha Didi,
Thank you, Eric.
wishing you well, sending you all my love and good wishes. And, you know, this is a time when we realize that, yes, we've been on a journey to become the yogi, but we've been enjoying watching other yogis as well. And I think as we all, you know, become mature and I would say double light, double bright, not yet double right all the time, but certainly moving towards that. We love to see yogis, you know, blooming or becoming full. So thank you to both of you, because I think your lives speak for themselves. And I know, Asha Didi, whenever we get close to you, we just feel happy. Now I'll feel stable, I'll feel calm, it'll be constant sustainability. I remember that word, I like very much. And also, Charlie, you know, you've been giving us an example to live in Western world, which is a little bit strange sometimes. And I think you are both giving us a beautiful image of what a yogi life should be. And I think it's an inspiration for many, and certainly it's been for me for many years, many lives maybe as well. Thank you, both of you. It was lovely to have a chance to be in a spiritual chit chat with both of you. And I'm sure everyone listening will be enjoying and also thinking about it, so that we become. And the team of Values for Life heard your suggestions for the third year. So you may expect to be invited again a few Saturdays in the next 12 months. So I'm sure it will happen. Thank you to both of you. Happy Diwali. Great continuation in your journey of a yogi. A big, big Om Shanti to both of you.
Thank you.
And Eric, thank you so much. You're always so warm and loving and big-hearted. Really appreciate your vibrations. Your values.
I was born spiritually in the drishti of our dearest Daddy Prakash Mani. So that love, you know where I got it. We're drinking at the same source, three of us.
True.
All right.
True. Yeah.
Om Shanti, and until we meet again. So to you, Manoj Bhai now.
So thank you so much. It's amazing, like your intimate moments you'll have shared with us, all your personal stories. It's amazing. And I think it's a big divine coincidence today. What we call is this Choti Diwali, the little Diwali, whereby today in India, it is celebrated in the path of devotion as something called Narak Chaturdashi, which means Narak is, I'm sure you all know Narak. Narak is hell. And as Brother Eric and both of you have really gone into how to invoke the yogi within us. So I must say, what an auspicious day it is to think about those things on this day, whereby we can really burn all the demons which we have and invoke the divinity within in the form of being a true yogi. So immensely thankful to you, particularly Brother Eric. It's 1:30 now at your place. I know, 1:30 a.m., but you're still around and your face is as fresh as a flower. Thank you once again. And,
thank you, Manoj Bhai. I'm fresh and I've been refreshed very, very well. Thank you.
And I would now request our seniors, as always, Dr. Ashok Mehta and Sister Claudia, to officially or formally, I must say, propose the vote of thanks. So over to both of you. Dr. Mehta first. Yeah.
Om Shanti. I think this was a very enjoyable dialogue and very, I think, very instructive how to be a good yogi. the personal experiences of Asha Ben were very enlightening, and so also for Charlie Bai. I think this could be a way of the third year to have dialogues. To have all the three continents, the best, the Europe, America, Australia, and India, all the continents together, one person from each, and a dialogue would bring us a wisdom of all the world. I think it's been a beautiful experience. Today's dialogue was very beautiful, very enlightening, very enjoyable, and instructive as well. I think, Manoj Bhai, you have probably started very well off the third year with this dialogue. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Happy Diwali to Asha Didi, to Brother Charlie, and Eric Pai. Thank you so much to be with us. I think it was quite a valuable day, evening or day for some of you. And then I think that it's quite nice to see what is the next step we need to take it. Because of course, we want to become a yogi, yeah, like both of you that we can see in front of us. I would say even Eric too. He's very humble, but he's a real yogi as well. So we all want to be like you all. And I really like to thanks for all these tips that you gave to us tonight. And of course, we are going to think about and become, and like he said, to sustain the value in our life so we can become natural. So I really like to thank all of you. But also I like to thank all the team with us here every evening, every morning with us. So all the translators, without them, we could not have the second anniversary. There's some of them are with us every week. So that way we can send to many parts of the world, because we send to all the ones who speaks French, the ones who speak Spanish, the ones who speak Portuguese, the one who speaks Hindi. So that spreads on so many different countries because of the translator. But not only the translator, but also the ones who are recording. So we have quite a team behind. And also I like to thanks to Nikki Ubai and all the other ones who are in IT team. So we can have those values program. So from the heart, from the depth of my heart, I like to say happy Diwali to everyone. And let's take this gift that was given tonight to us, and then take really inside and change and become that yogi that we want to become. Of course, we are here to become a yogi. So we want to become a yogi too. Thank you.
So thank you so much, all of you. And I really don't want to come in the meditation in between yogis all in front of us and the meditation, but I would quickly do these announcements. If you can bear with me just for the next few minutes. As all of you know, after the week of the talk by the senior Rajogi, we have the workshop. So we also always celebrate our values workshop birthdays. And the second birthday is around the corner next Saturday. Again, we have our dear brother Eric, and with both these beautiful, elegant, knowledgeable sisters in their own way, they are doing a lot of service worldwide, Sister Jenna and Sister Aruna, and they have really contributed a lot during our last 2 years of workshops. So going on further, and also having taken a lot of inspirations from Brother Charlie, we felt it's a need to invite more and more new speakers. All of them are senior Rajogis. Again, this was Brother Raja Kaul, coming from Australia. He's a doctor, and he will be embarking on the third year journey, and he's the first one to speak on positivity. And again, another new speaker, we have another national coordinator from Italy, Sister Antonella, whom I know very well personally. She'll be with us in the workshop. But I think we really have to take a lot of inputs from what they have said. It's more of how to be living that value and make it a natural part of our life. So I think we can give some food to thought on that and decide how to go further after these 2-3 episodes. So with this, there's a general request all the time that if y'all can please take a photograph. So if I can just request Anu sister and all the other participants for this beautiful anniversary, if you can put your video cameras on, so that Anu's sister can quickly take a photograph. So that then once we go in meditation, we exit in the meditative yogi mode.
Taking. Everybody open your video. I always say that so that you don't want to miss.
All done?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So I would now request all of you all to be for the next 5 to 10 minutes in the yogi. You all have heard a lot about how an ideal yogi should be. Can us just experience that with our seniors? So I would request Anu sister to play the song. Thank you.
I feel it now. It's all around me. A silent voice I can't deny. A mother's arms, how they surround me. They sing the beauty of my life. It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love. I close my eyes. It takes me over. A memory deep down in my soul, and safe from harm to be beside you. A light will shine upon the world. It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love. It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love, this love.
you, all of you, immense gratitude for your time and your inputs and your insights. Thanks a lot.